I feel like this might be the second edition of Corners of the Culture. Today is was quite the pre-show conversation going on
That's
here.
the Patreon.
That's the Patreon version of Corners of the Culture. We welcome you in here to the latest episode. I'm D-Lo. He's KC.
Yes, sir.
Dope.
Indeed. We appreciate you so much for being with us, downloading, subscribing, listening. We appreciate those that are following us across our social media platforms, checking out all of the amazing shorts that in reels that the Dope Ones is putting out regarding some of these episodes. High praise regarding the Tupac episode we dropped last week, really the Dear Mama episode that we dropped last week. Obviously with Tupac, there's so much to talk about with him that, you know, we already know there is at minimum another Dear Mama episode on the way, as episode number 3 was
I ain't got to 3
phenomenal.
yet. I went back and watched the first 2 again because Jazz wanted to see it. That was really good.
It's really good. It's up there.
Good stuff. So I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
The third one I thought was the best one so far.
Mhm.
I thought the third one was the best one, and it's starting to have, you know, I think Last Dance is regarded as a tremendous like inside look and documentary. It's approaching that level of really great insight. Again, what are you learning? It's a different story, but the way the story is being told is magnificent.
Yeah.
It's absolutely magnificent. So another episode of Dear Mama, and I'm sure plenty more episodes of Tupac are on the way, but we're going to dive into something today that we have kicked around really since the inception of this podcast. It was actually one of the reasons we created this podcast, because we would sit around and talk about hip hop movies and you know what they meant to us, the culture, the definitive moments, and all of that. So that's what we thought we'd do today: hip hop and cinema. And I'll acknowledge out the gate, you got to start with Wild Style. You have to acknowledge it.
So, okay. I just want to know. So what's a hip hop movie?
So that's a good question. I just want to
I was asking myself the very thing pulling up. Today.
So I
Like,
figure
what's a hip-hop
that's
movie?
probably the biggest question here, because I have a like Wild Style is it's the graffiti, it's the DJing, and it's the freestyle. It's the original. It's Fab Five Freddy. It's the original incarnation of hip hop. It's the street version of hip hop. It's the 1970s version of hip hop. That's what that is. That's not for me. Like, I've seen it since. It's not a great movie, but I respect what it is and what it means. Like, I'm a little more in the era of like Krush Groove, Beat Street, and Breakin and all of that joints, which we'll dive into. But let's start with that question, since Kenny throwing them out there right out the gate.
You know how I do.
I was looking at movies that embodied hip hop in them. Right. Now, some people might say Boys in the Hood is a hip hop movie.
Yeah.
I don't think I would.
Nah, I wouldn't either.
See, then that's why I asked the question, because I feel like the lines get blurred between a movie for the culture and a hip hop movie.
Yes.
And Boys in the Hood is, see, this is so different. Boys in the Hood is probably a movie for the culture. I might put Juice in the hip hop movie.
So I was going to ask if Juice is a hip hop movie.
Absolutely a hip hop
And
movie.
I only
it's
put
centered
it in
around a DJ battle.
That's the whole thing. That's why I put it
a
in
hip hop
there.
movie.
Yeah.
And features
But
the biggest rapper ever.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
but
Ice Cube is in Boys in the Hood though, so that can't be
but
a part of it.
Okay, it can't be a part of it. Fair enough. But the fact that the story of Juice surrounds a hip hop
battle.
DJ competition, you know,
but that's not the story of the movie. The story of the movie is four guys, 4 friends, and one just goes ape shit.
Story of the
Like,
movie
that's
is
the story.
Breaking Bad. Like, that's what
for
it
real.
is. Like,
Yeah.
Right,
Fox
like,
switching up.
That's the story. And hip hop is a character in it, so to speak, because one of the guys wants to be a DJ. But if we talk to my son who's 10 and had never seen it, what's this movie? It's about it's about these 4 guys who are friends, and one of them goes wild. Like, it really ain't got nothing to do with hip hop if I'm explaining it.
No, that's
But
true. That's a great point.
I think it's a hip hop movie.
But how many movies? I mean, well, Krush Groove and Beat Street. How many movies that we would characterize as hip hop actually
have
are
to do with
about
hip-hop?
hip hop?
Exactly, because I was going through it. I'm like, Juice, top of the list. Is House Party a hip hop movie?
So House
I'd
Party
say
to me
yes.
is like
Is
if I
House
were to
Party-
pick one,
Is House Party
if-
2 a hip hop movie?
if I were to
I'd say yes
if
to
I
two.
were to
Is my
rank them,
favorite House Party 3
Wait a
a
minute.
hip hop
Wait,
House
movie?
Party
what?
3 is your favorite?
Hell yeah, it's my favorite.
Tisha Campbell not even there.
Yes, she is in it.
I
Tisha
mean,
Campbell
barely,
makes a
man.
cameo
Nah,
in
man.
it.
Yeah, she makes that's not
Bernie
how,
Mac,
That's not how we want her. in there.
TLC, bro, that's my
Chris
favorite. I know
Tucker-
it's
Chris
blasphemy.
Tucker hilarious.
Bernie
in that
Mac.
one.
was
Bernie
funny.
Mac
Bernie-
is hilarious.
funny.
He's the reason why it's my favorite movie. For real. And Aunt Lucy, come on, man.
Bernie
Aunt
Mac.
Lucy's
Chris Tucker-
fashions.
I got money over here. I'm getting money over here, and I'm
I
trying to
came
get some money over here.
Yo, it's so many quotables, bro. House Party 3 is
Fuck him.
Well, we-
Fuck him up against the
Fuck 'em
wall.
up against the wall.
With handcuffs
With handcuffs
on.
on.
Crazy glow on the lips.
That's what you do. What you want their parents to like you for? Words to live by, Uncle
I
Vesta.
will say House Party 3 is probably underrated.
Bro, it's
But
the
I don't-
best
it's not the
one.
best one.
It's the best.
It's not the best
No,
one.
House Party 1 is the best one. Stop it.
All right, House
I can
Party
make the
1 is
argument
a
House Party
classic.
2 is the best one.
No, hell no.
House Party 2 is
No.
kind of fire. House
No,
Party
but
2 is
you,
fire.
you sold foreplay? No, House Party
House
1.
Party, yeah.
I'll
The
go with House
original
Party 1.
is
No, I'll
iconic.
go with House Party 1.
House
It
Party
ain't
1 is
three.
the
I
best.
do
3 is my
appreciate
favorite though.
No,
It's
that's
not the
different.
best.
Okay,
It's
here
my
we go.
favorite.
I
though.
appreciate all of the nods in House Party 2 to Robin Harris.
Yeah.
Like, because like as it when I was just as a kid watching the movie or being younger watching it, you always there's always the picture and you reckon it, but like I think it's like Harris University that he goes to or
Oh,
something
wow.
like that. Like there's if you pay attention to the movie, like there's a couple of nods. And before I want to mention this because we haven't talked about it on the radio and we mentioned Boys in the Hood. The Snowfall finale is an incredible tribute to
Yeah, it
John
is.
Singleton.
That last
It
scene.
is just a beautiful tribute
Yeah.
to that man and that director.
That's
That's all. I don't have I don't know. We haven't worked the Snowfall finale into the show, into the D-Lo and Casey show.
Mainly because
but-
I'm still on episode 2 of the
And
season,
that's
of the
fine.
series. Yeah, man.
Kenny,
I-
where you
but
been,
I'm
bro?
waiting.
What's
I'm
going
waiting.
on?
I came late, but I'm waiting for everybody. I'm waiting, and I'm gonna just go through it.
Yeah, you got to go through
Yeah,
it.
it's
Go
over
through it.
now, so you
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
watch
go
it.
through it.
But that finale was it was just
avoid
incredible.
any spoilers too, bro.
Yeah,
Stay away
and
from
it's
the
tough.
spoilers.
It's tough because there were
I'm gonna
memes
mute
everywhere.
Everything
Yeah.
is Snowfall.
Yeah, there were memes everywhere.
But I mean, we could talk about just these movies just in general, but we talk about House Party and House Party 2. I don't know if you guys remember, House Party 2 was huge when it came out.
Mhm.
Like it was like, oh snap, House Party 2, he's going to college. I remember the opening scene. They got the choir. Like it was a big deal, and I thought they lived up to it. I thought they did a good job, and whether it's the best or favorite, whatever. I thought they did a good job with.
But
House
I think
Party
the
2.
reason it was so big was because of the success.
Oh,
of,
yeah,
like
the
the
first
first
one.
one.
No,
The first
absolutely.
one, like
That was a
there's,
huge
There's
movie.
something. There's
Yeah.
something. There's something here.
Yeah, for sure.
something
But
here.
I don't think it quite lived. It don't have the same magic.
It's
I
not
think
the same.
They were
House
trying
Party
to
1's
do
the
too
best
much
one.
with it.
Yeah.
I think all the tropes and the, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They were trying too much. Like even like homie who
I
comes
was
out.
about to say,
the
where
Pink Freak homie and the
where
and
did Jermaine come from? What was his name? Jermaine?
no
Jerome. You talking about his roommate
yeah.
with the
Yeah.
Malcolm X poster
Yeah.
up?
Where'd he
Yeah.
come from?
Yeah, it wasn't he in a group. Some.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in a one-hit wonder group from the '90s.
Oh, I gotta
Yeah,
look
yeah.
that
That
up.
was a group. He was in
That's
a group.
crazy.
Was it
I could
Jerome?
believe
I
it.
feel like his name was
I
Jerome.
think it was
His name was
Jerome.
Jamal.
That's
Jamal.
what it was.
That's what it
Jamal.
was.
No, I'm your boy. You know I'm gonna take
Oh.
care of your girl.
So look, let's go.
Jamal.
Just grabbing
go.
ass while
Look.
he's.
Let's go. Let me go sideways a little bit. Is Class Act a hip hop movie?
Ooh.
Class
So
Act was
is
fire.
the question
I love
anything
Class Act.
involving?
Class Act was fire.
But no. See, because even going back to Juice, right? Juice, you made a great point, Kenny. The story isn't about hip hop, but the fact that hip
Bro.
hop, what? You looking at it?
Fuck?
He's in a group, right? And you see the name of the group. What's the name of the group?
Young black teenagers.
Exactly. I couldn't think of it. I knew it had
Wait a
something to
minute.
do with young black something.
Is he black?
No, this white dude's got the audacity. Yeah, I knew he was in a group though.
Young black teenagers.
And the cosign from Kid and Play is the ultimate. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
we on.
Yeah.
We are on.
Oh, I might be cooked for this episode. We might be doing an episode on young black teenagers.
Yeah.
Is that? Okay, wait. So we're positive he's not black?
I mean, we're not
I
positive,
can't
but
say I'm positive. I don't know.
People are not. Yeah.
Members. Ron, his name is Ron Winge. It doesn't say yes, he's black. Look, I'm sympathetic to stuff like this, so I want to make sure.
Me too, Damien. I mean,
oh, shut up! You ain't nobody ever come to you and say you white. Stop it.
oh yeah, they have. Absolutely.
Stop it.
Absolutely.
All right.
That's the plight of
This
being
is. Oh man, I'm shook
light
right
skin
now.
dilemma, man.
I am shook right now. Young black teenagers.
Yeah,
wow.
I knew it was some real
Yeah,
egregious shit.
that's what
I knew it was for real. That's why I couldn't think of it because it disgusts me so much.
Mac Daddy
first
Don of the
saw it.
Underworld was the name of the record they did.
Mac Daddy Don of the Underworld.
They got a record
Jesus
called
Christ.
Proud to Be Black.
And like you said, he got that Kid and Play cosign, and
I'm
he
telling
was
you,
in there.
He thought, you know,
He
thought it
has
was
to be
all
black.
good.
He has to be black.
Gotta have something, man. Uncle somewhere.
Nah, he
Wait, what's
You
his name? Ron Helmsworth? What's his name?
Ron. So funny, I think his stage name is
Oh.
Cameron,
Oh,
or maybe it's Cameron. I don't know, but it's Ron Winge.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest. None of these names sound black to me. Rodney Rivera does not sound like. Oh man, this requires a further. this requires some further work. Jamal.
So Jamal is the reason why in the pantheon of house party movies,
that just moves it on down.
moves it way down
Moves
on the
it on
list.
down.
There's like two other dudes in it who look like Jamal. Like,
Oh,
there's
yeah, in
only
the
one
group,
guy
right?
in the group that I go, yeah, that dude's black.
Yeah.
Yo, they got a Yo MTV Raps trading card. That dude is not black.
I'm surprised y'all ain't know
That's
that.
got to be the Rivera kid right there. That's the Rivera kid. I'm shook, bro. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do right now.
Yo,
I don't know what to
Damien's
do.
over there flabbergasted. Yo, I swear I thought you knew that.
That group is called Young Black Teenagers. There has to be a think piece somewhere on these guys.
Maybe Karen-
Name's
maybe
Jamal.
Karen,
They got love from Public Enemy.
Oh wow,
Yeah, that I didn't know.
that's wild. That's wild.
Sneakers out here dropping shoes
I know,
during
I'm
the
in
show.
line.
Did you?
Wow, yo,
I had
got
to.
it open.
I had
See,
to.
what
What
the
happened?
hell is going on? We're trying to
Oh,
record a
yeah.
podcast
I
and
like
sneakers
them
out
joints.
here dropping shoes. I'm just gonna go ahead and just see what happens. Let's go ahead and
Damn, that's like a shock.
Sorry,
jock
we're-
video.
yeah.
Shock Drive. I
Sorry.
think the official one is on Saturday.
sorry, y'all. We're recording on a
I really
on a
like them, though.
Tuesday, and
The
See, they
first
got
ones are
me.
dope. You got the
Yeah.
first ones.
They got
those
me.
are
I
fire.
was just like, I felt like I had.
all right.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's see, shock drops are the worst because you don't even get a chance to think about it. You're like, oh, shock drop, let me get
For
in.
real.
These guys are
Whereas,
geniuses.
and then you get them and like, oh,
They're damn geniuses. They are
They
geniuses.
are.
no, you know they're geniuses, but you know what else? We're fucking idiots.
That's
That's really what it boils down
There's
to. Is
that
we're
too.
fucking idiots.
That's the more honest observation.
All
Anybody
right.
ever wondered? Yes, we record this thing live. There's things that go on during the podcast, like Jamal
Okay.
and shock drops.
All right.
But you were talking about, because I asked Class Act, and then
Okay.
you talked about
Oh yeah, I had to go back
Juice
to
and,
Juice.
and all that other
So I
stuff.
just had to, in my opinion, just the reason why Juice is a hip hop movie because it checks so many boxes.
Mhm.
So there's there's a major hip hop star as one of the lead characters.
Mhm.
That doesn't constitute it as a hip hop movie, but the fact that Hank Shock Lee did the score, he did original
Mm.
music. He's the original producer for Public Enemy.
Mhm.
The fact that it's built around the DJ battle, even though that's not the main point of the story.
Mhm.
There's so many hip hop elements in it. EPMD make a cameo in the bar. Queen Latifah.
Mhm.
Who
Queen
else?
Latifah was sneaky fantastic. in
Wasn't,
that movie.
She was. Red Alert was in it.
Red
too.
Alert was
Mhm.
in there. I'm trying to think. Was Fat Five in there?
I think he might have been. No. You know what it was? Fat Five Freddy did an on the set interview with Pac for
okay.
Yo
Okay.
MTV Raps on the
Okay.
set of Juice, which
Gotcha.
makes it a hip hop movie too, in my
There's that.
opinion. Not that
Yeah.
they
I-
haven't done other movies,
yeah.
but it's like it checks so many boxes.
Yeah.
And then I was watching I'm just a movie nerd. I'll be watching the special features. So on Juice, they have the interviews with all of the cast members, you know, then and now. And Jermaine Hopkins repeatedly is like, and this is a hip hop movie. Da, 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 da. So for one of the cast members to call it a hip hop movie, it's like, how could you deny it? But again, you made a great point that it's technically not a hip hop story.
Right. And I agree with you. I think it's a hip hop movie. You know what I mean? Like it's just when you see it, you know it.
You just know it. But Class Act, as great as it is, I wouldn't call that a hip hop movie.
That one either. Yeah.
It's not.
That was just that was a movie for the culture.
It's not, even though they do the drug-free freestyle with Pauly Shore.
They did do that. I was trying to remember if they rapped in that one, but yeah, they did do that. That's right. And he was teaching them how to dance and all that other stuff. That's right.
You know, a fun note on Fab Five Freddy. You know that you know why his name is Fab Five Freddy? You remember when he got name checked in the Blondie record?
With Basquiat in it.
Yeah. She flipped.
Fab Five Freddy.
She got his street name, like she flipped like two of the, I think so Fab Five Freddy, I think it was originally Fab Five. That was his tag, because he was an artist.
Right.
But when Blondie dropped and it was it's Fab Five Freddy now. Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
So a little fun note on Fab Five Freddy. They also wanted him to do Wild Thing.
Oh, they
wanted the Tone Loc record. They wanted him to do it.
Perform it?
Yeah, they wanted him to be a rapper.
Shit, I didn't know
and
that.
he didn't want to be.
Yeah.
Like he was like, nah. And so Wild Thing came from She's Gotta Have It. It came from a Fab Five Freddy line.
Let's go do the Wild Thing.
Yeah, so that's why the Please, Baby, 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 Please is in it. They were paying attention. They were paying tribute to the movie. In Fab Five Freddy, there's a cut somewhere of him doing the record.
Oh wow!
But he's just like, I don't like it. Like this is not what I want. And so they got Tone Loc, and there it is.
I never knew that though. That's real interesting.
So I got another question here. Does Spike have any hip hop movies?
Oh man, that's a great question. I was just asking myself that. Can he
do the right thing?
The answer is no, he doesn't.
I don't think so either.
I think all of his films have a lot of hip hop influence, but none of them even have a semblance of hip hop in the story. You know, soundtracks are great. From She's Gotta Have It. He comes in to set it off us and yo, that's in it. Every one of his soundtracks have hip hop records, maybe with the exception of Jungle Fever, because that's by Stevie Wonder. But yeah, I don't think he has any hip hop movies.
Yeah, I feel like you said that with a tone.
Yeah, because I want him to have.
That's
one.
what I'm saying. I was like, damn, that should be the next move.
He should have a hip hop movie. Yeah. He absolutely should. Yeah, because I was thinking about that on the way. I'm like, Spike don't really have no hip hop movies, or what I would consider one.
How do you make a hip hop movie today, though?
Well,
how would you make one today?
Okay, let me ask y'all this. That's a great segue. What did y'all feel about All Eyes on Me and Notorious?
I thought All Eyes on Me was terrible.
Yeah,
I thought it was awful.
I didn't like it. Notorious, I said this a number of different times. It was way better than I thought it was going to be.
Really?
I enjoyed Notorious more than I thought. Now, part of that has to do with the fact that the bar was so low. Like, I thought it was going to be terrible. I saw the actor, I saw the casting,
right?
commercials.
The casting.
And I was like, oh, man, he's trying to do this biggie. It's going to be terrible. And then I watched it, and it wasn't a great movie, but I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. If it's on TNT and there's nothing on, I'll check it out.
Me too.
The commercial break.
It's like it's entertaining enough.
Yeah.
And it's loosely based enough to where it's kind of believable.
Right.
And it just has that. Yeah, like because at least with Notorious, some of the story was accurate. Some of it was right. They tried to follow the timeline right. I feel like they just made some shit up and like All Eyes on Me.
Yeah, the Pac one felt.
What the hell was that?
It was like a Wikipedia page, just kind of going from one thing to the other with no flow to it.
And then when they were in the scenes of different things, the shit didn't even feel.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
that's why Kenny brought up the Whitney movie yesterday. All Eyes on Me is the reason I struggle with these movies, because it's like don't ruin this. Like don't
feel you,
because I felt like I knew a lot of the Pac story. I didn't know, and I know the Whitney story, but I can't say like I know it all. Right. Like I don't want to be like influenced by a movie that's lazy. You know what I mean?
Right. And like I said, I don't. Then that's that also comes when you talk about hip hop and everything. For the most part, like I think we always can learn some stuff that we didn't know. I'm watching Dear Mama and kind of learning some things I didn't know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But we know that story,
right?
For
the most
we
part,
know it.
yeah.
So we see something in All Eyes on Me, be like, bro, come on,
We
man.
know.
Like that.
We can fact check it.
That was
time.
that wasn't it.
So
something like Whitney, I don't know Whitney's story, so I'm watching the movie, and I'm just watching it for the story.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know everything about her, so
yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, well, her and Bobby had this blow up. Oh, okay. I don't know nothing about it. I don't have nothing to fact check it on.
Yeah.
Whereas my mom or somebody might be like, no, see, they embellished that. That's not how it went. I don't know it.
The flip side of that is Straight Outta Compton.
Mm.
Straight Outta Compton was phenomenal.
The best one?
Absolutely.
Oh, probably by far.
Yeah, for hip hop, like by
probably by far. Yeah. Now they were selective too. Like Dre didn't whoop no woman's ass in that movie.
Dre didn't get beat up by Suge.
Dre's situation kind of bothered me in that movie. Dre was super rapper, bro.
Yeah.
And
see, okay,
I couldn't get away from it. I was like, come on, bro.
We tend so let me preface what I'm about to say with the fact that we as Black men, as lovers of the culture and knowing these things, we tend to hyper criticize our films about our culture. Even Queen Latifah in the Juice specials talking about how white writers tend to just miss the mark when they make Black movies and hip hop movies. But when F. Gary Gray directs a movie like Straight Outta Compton, which is great, to Damien's point, my problem with it was it seemed too focused on Dre and Cube, and everybody else's story could kind of be, you know, it was malleable a little bit. The way I feel like they kind of did Easy wrong in that shit a little bit. I feel like he was slighted a little bit in the movie. Even just the scene where he got allegedly stomped out by Suge and his people. I know that never happened. I don't know it. I wasn't there, but I strongly feel like that shit didn't happen. So why would you put that in the movie? You know, especially if you call yourself trying to honor him. And I feel like there were other little liberties they took just to make it more Hollywood, I guess. You know,
well, it was also to create good guys and bad guys
that too.
It was almost creating Dre as a sympathetic figure in it versus, you know, Suge's, you know, psychopathic behavior.
Right.
And I mean, I think probably Dre a little bit more than Cube. Maybe they're the ones around to tell a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they
right.
They definitely are.
So it's gonna
favor them.
Right.
And I get that too. And I think they, you know, provide the authenticity that it needs to really be as accurate as possible. But if I had a criticism of it, I would feel like I think more of like outside voices should have had more input too, because it just seemed like centered around them. But it was still good.
I love.
Don't
get
me wrong.
I do. I love the movie. I thought it was great.
And
I got one for you. Is Friday a hip hop movie?
I was thinking about this as we're talking about it. No, it's not.
It's not a hip hop movie.
It's a movie for the culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a hood movie. And that's the thing. The lines get blurred between a hood movie and a hip hop movie.
So as people are, you know, as you're listening to this podcast, pull out assuming you're not driving, pull out your phone and Google like top hip hop movies of all time. And you'll see a wide range. You'll see conversations centering on what we're talking about, like Wild Style and Crush Groove and all that. Then you'll see Boys in the Hood, Friday. You'll see different things like that. Here's two that I honestly didn't even think about. Hustle and Flow.
I knew you were gonna say that. Hustle and Flow is absolutely a hip hop movie.
It's a movie. And honestly, one of the greatest.
Definitely
one of the greatest.
I remember interviewing Terrence the day he got Terrence. That's my dog, so I just call him by his first name. Terrence Howard, the day he got nominated for the Academy Award, and I was like, "Yo, whose idea was the perm? Whose idea was the hair?" And he's like, "It was mine." Because everyone was doing braids. Everything looked exactly the same. We wanted to create something different.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I got something for you. And he did that legendary hair he had in that movie.
Curl. That's an all-timer.
No, it was
an all-timer, man. They did
it definitely was. He did his thing in that.
So I got another question as we try to figure out what hip-hop movies are. And at first I was leaning towards, yes, it's a hip-hop movie. I think it's more so a movie for the culture. Paid in Full.
That's a great
Wow.
I think it's more for the
it's
culture,
for the culture
than it is just the hip hop. Cameron's in there, obviously, but that's the only real tie to music in that movie.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just the street story after
but
that.
then it's the video at the end.
Oh,
the hip-hop
yeah,
video,
that's what I think about when I said that.
It's
like
the
how they
video
equated
at the end
to how,
but it's still
music
not
goes.
because to me, it's like, damn, because now you compare Juice, which is kind of a tragedy. It's a drama.
Mm-hmm.
And so is Paid in Full.
Mm-hmm.
Paid in Full is kind of a tragedy and a drama. I mean, it kind of has they both have like dual endings.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
somebody falls and somebody, continues on,
Mhm.
right? But I think that the difference between Juice and Paid in Full, more than anything, is that, these guys, they were legends in their particular game, in the drug game. So it's based on a true story. It's loosely based on, AZ and Alpo and all of them. So the fact that it's based on a real life depiction of these guys hustling in Harlem makes it different than a fictional story about some kids running around, one of which wanted to be an aspiring DJ, and then all the other elements of hip hop. That's what separates, and that's what makes Juice a hip hop movie and Paid in Full not a hip hop movie. I just had to clarify that for myself without sounding like a hypocrite and saying Paid in Full isn't. You know,
I think as I thought about it some more, I mean, you guys know I love Paid in Full. That's one of my favorite movies, period. I don't think it really has any hip hop elements.
Nah.
It has a bunch of street elements.
Definitely.
It's all street, but there's no hip hop elements. The only thing I could think of that's hip hop there is when they were taking the pictures at the club and the money start. That's it. I don't even know if it, off the top of my head, it don't have no performances, I don't think.
Nah, it doesn't.
8 Mile.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the best too.
Yeah, that's a tie.
Sure,
That movie was a
One
movement.
best.
A lot like Straight Outta Compton. I think Straight Outta Compton was a movement just within cinema and within music, not just within the culture, but within cinema, period, and within music. 8 Mile, I think, was the same thing because Eminem was a massive star.
Yeah,
I would even say a little further than beyond Straight Outta Compton, because that album was pretty dope too. The 8 Mile soundtrack.
Yeah. I mean, Lose Yourself is
gets.
I'm sure he makes millions off that record today.
And I'm not even an Eminem fan as far as like, I don't play M in the car.
Right.
I don't play him at my house, but I respect him a great deal as an artist.
Yeah.
And I think he has a great deal of respect for the culture. So it's not like, oh, he's a white rapper, so I don't play it. It's just not, his music isn't really for me.
Right.
I don't receive it as the way other people do.
Right.
But in 8 Mile, it put on full display his skill set. Them freestyle battles, incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. And I know he's capable of doing that off the cuff, on site. That's just his talent.
Right.
And so to see that on camera to see that on film, as authentic as that felt, as real as that shit felt, there's never been anything like it.
Nah, and he took you inside the life of a rapper, inspiring rapper. Like, he was a lot of this stuff, and I think of Get Rich or Die Trying when I think of this, but like 50 was a hustler who said, I'm gonna try and start rapping. Rabbit, Eminem, whatever, was like, I want to be a rapper. I want to be the greatest rapper in my city, greatest rapper. He was just thinking about a city, but like eventually ever. And he just took you through that journey.
Yeah.
It
So Get
wasn't
Rich or Die Trying doesn't make the cut?
No, it does. It does. But
I think so.
It was
sure.
it absolutely does. But it was a different experience in Get Rich than 8 Mile. Get Rich, from what I remember, I just saw it again for the first time in years, maybe about 3 months ago. But if I remember correctly, 50 was hustling. And then he was like, well, let me try this rapping thing. And in 8 Mile, M was, I don't like my circumstances. I'm a great rapper. I just want to be a rapper. And he went to the battles and he dealt with, being embarrassed and clicks and all this other stuff. And then eventually at the end, coming out on top. It's one of the great hip hop movies.
I love 8 Mile. I love it.
And I feel the same way about him. Like, I respect his talent. I don't remember the last time I listened to an Eminem song, but that's one of the greatest of all time.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
No love for the early hip hop movies,
Oh,
the
yeah,
Crush Grooves and the Beat Streets.
I was
And
just
I
watching
hadn't
Crush
seen a lot of
Groove.
those, to be honest with
So
you.
Beat Street,
Okay.
I just, as a young kid, I was like, this ain't it. This feels no. The one we haven't mentioned is the movie, the movie that introduced me to hip hop movies.
Tougher Than Leather? No.
Breakin' 2,
Oh,
Electric
okay.
Boogaloo.
Okay.
Hey, and so here's a fun fact about that, because this is a thing I want to transition to: hip hop rappers turn actors. The first rapper turned actor makes his debut in that movie. Any takers?
First rapper turned actor.
What's the
Breakin'
year?
2.
What's the year?
84.
It's not L because L's
It's not L.
in
You in the ballpark though. It ain't LL.
who is it?
Ice-T.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Ice-T
Wow.
makes his movie debut in that. He makes a cameo at the end, and he's like an announcer, and he has a couple lines.
Wow.
So I think I know the answer, and I don't want to take away, but
Go
New
ahead.
Jack City?
Nah.
No, it's not a hip hop movie. That's in the paid in full category.
It's a paid in full type movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they actually had no hip hop in there and started their own little genre with New Jack
Swing. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, was
sure,
how strong the New Jack Swing presence was
They
in
had
it.
Gerald Levert singing and everything in there. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
I mean, it's part of the
New
culture,
Jack.
so there's always some hip hop elements, but
Always.
it's they were actually different than hip-hop.
You ever wonder why there was no New Jack City 2?
Well, I mean, I know they talked about it.
Yeah, I know they talked about what's
Cop Killer.
Tell?
That's why there's no New Jack City 2. Cop Killer, the Body Count song.
Oh.
That set off a firestorm of stuff for Time Warner and Warner Brothers and all of that.
It's
It was
more
planned.
Ice-T trivia.
Yeah.
It was planned, and it was being, but then this all happened, and Ice-T finally was like, "Look, forget it. I'll take the record off the album, and we'll just keep it moving." And then it was like less than a year later where Ice-T just let me out of my contract with Time Warner.
Yeah.
We'll keep it moving. And everything involving Ice-T, he had like an HBO show, everything just gone.
Damn. And
because of that record, because of a heavy metal record that they constituted as a rap record, because a rapper and a bunch of black band members were the front group. It wasn't a heavy metal record, it was a rap record. But because they were all black, it was a rap record.
And then the irony that this motherfucker would be a cop.
He's more known for a cop than being a rapper.
Years.
Man, I
Crazy.
watch him almost every night.
It's crazy. Cops in New York, like, we love you, Ice.
It's funny because he said he didn't want to. He was really nervous about doing New Jack City because he didn't want to be a cop. He's like, I hate cops. I don't want to be a cop.
Right.
Yeah.
And
It's crazy.
what's his name?
On Law and Order.
Yeah.
Jazz knows it. She says it all the time.
You watch it every night. Like
know.
I can't. I don't know his name, but he's
I
more.
do it without looking.
He's more known for that than he is.
It's like Fagan, I think, or Fag.
He's more known for that than he is 6 a.m. police at my door.
Right.
Fresh Adidas squeaking on it, but he made his debut in Breakin' 2.
Breakin' 2. So let's go back, because we got to show love to them early hip hop movies. So for me, Breakin' 2 was dope, just mainly for the dancing. But the movie, I think that really I fell in love with the idea of hip hop on film was absolutely Krush Groove.
Okay.
Krush Groove was just everything for me as a kid, little kid too, like 6, 7, 8. Because I love the Fat Boys. I love the Fat Boys because of Disorderlies.
Yeah, me too.
I love the movie Disorderlies. That's an unsung
Baby, you're
gem.
a rich man. Baby, you're a rich man.
I love that movie. And so
I saw that joint in the theaters. That's how much
crazy.
I love the Fat Boys.
Yeah. I definitely had Disorderlies on VHS. So their part in Krush Groove. You seen Krush Groove, Kenny?
I haven't seen Krush.
Oh, you gotta.
I haven't seen a lot of those.
Early.
A lot of those early ones. I haven't seen the Breakin'.
You know what
and
introduced me to
Grooves
Krush Groove and Beat Street?
Yo, House Party.
Krush Groove and Beat Street are on. Let's
Yeah.
go watch it now.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen a lot of. The only one that I've seen, and I want you to finish your point, but we need to. Is this
Yeah.
a hip hop album? The only one I've seen and I love. It's one of my favorite movies. is The Last Dragon.
Oh man, that's one of my. That's one of my.
Is that a hip hop or is it a culture?
Nah, because
the guy gets in there, he starts. The little brother starts dancing and cock
it's
blocking.
for the culture, 100%. It's a Motown movie. The only rapping that's done in that movie is like being made a mockery of it. Yo, baby, yo,
Rhythm of the Night, I think, is the record from that, isn't it?
Right?
And
the
Vanity got one.
The Vanity song.
Yeah.
The Vanity song. I forgot the song, but yeah, Vanity had a song.
But yeah, that's not a hip hop movie.
That's an
amazing movie.
That's the only one from that era that I feel like I've seen.
Really?
Yeah,
you gotta watch.
I love Krush Groove though.
I mean,
I love Krush Groove.
And the fact that so it's about Def Jam. It's really about Krush Groove is like the movie version of Def Jam. It's about Russell Simmons and Run DMC starting Def Jam. LL makes an appearance. Andre Harrell, all these people, Rick Rubin, but Blair Underwood is playing Russell Simmons, which I always found fucking hilarious. And Russell's in the movie. He makes little cameos here and there, but it's just funny. But it's like so many cameos. New Edition is in it.
So it's funny.
Curtis Blow.
Russell Simmons did the Krush Groove joint, and Rick Rubin was in charge of Tougher Than Leather.
Oh, shit, I didn't know
the
that.
Run DMC joint,
Run DMC
which it took them years to complete it because Rick Rubin is just scatterbrained. Like he's all over the place. Like he got the funding for it, and he was like, "Nah, fuck it, I want to make rock records.
Right.
I want to make metal records." So he went and did that. He's like, "Oh, we got this money to make Tougher Than Leather." So he's in like Tougher Than Leather. It's a horrible, like
I've only
Tougher Than
seen
Leather
bits and
is
pieces
terrible.
of it. I never seen it all
It's
the
not
way through.
good. You don't need to see it all the way through.
I think
You can probably watch it on YouTube right now.
I'm gonna go back just for reference, but I never watched it all.
Yeah, it's not good.
You guys know what the worst hip hop movie of all time is, and I hate saying this because it's not bad. It's not a bad movie.
You just called it the worst,
but it's not. It's the worst of hip hop movies.
Okay.
That don't mean it's bad. It's just on the bottom, right?
Okay.
Of hip hop movies. It's the worst. I love pretty much everybody in the movie. But looking at how it's the worst. It's Brown Sugar.
Damn,
that's major.
And that is a hip hop movie.
That's major.
I'm gonna tell you why I think
that's cap.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you exactly why.
Sanaa, if you're listening, I would never say some blasphemy like
that. But look, I'm gonna tell you exactly why for me it's the worst. Because all they did was take Love and Basketball and put it in a hip hop form. It's the same movie. And that pisses me off. I thought it was lazy. I thought they could have done more with that movie, but Love and Basketball came out first. It's the same damn movie. And they put it in hip hop.
I'm calling cap on all this. I am not associated with these remarks.
My mother would be livid.
I love Tay. I love Sanaa.
Nah, Sanaa, I'd never. I just say Sanaa, I would never, ever.
Word up.
That's the word. Well, okay, what's the worst hip hop movie ever made?
Fat Beach. No, I'm just playing.
Tougher Than Leather. Okay, I got one for you. I don't even know if I think it's a hip hop movie.
Cold as Ice.
Oh, damn. No, that's not what I was going to say.
Took you back on that one.
That's not what I was going to say. Oh, man. No. Who's the man?
Don't do that.
I love Who's the Man.
Oh, Who's the Man is worth.
Don't do that to Ed Lover and Dr. Dre.
It's a bad movie, but it's so
Abracadabra.
Good. It's so bad it's good, honestly.
Okay.
You guys like How High?
Yeah, I
I
wasn't
love
crazy
How High.
I didn't love, and I wouldn't consider that a hip hop movie.
It is, and you know what makes it worse is watching Method Man rap now, or watching Method Man act now.
Yeah.
It's like,
I didn't
he's
like
an actor.
He's
like,
a real actor.
Like it was okay. I shouldn't say I didn't like it. It was all right, but
by the way,
I wasn't big.
Did you notice they pulled the okie doke on us? And are you watching Ghost?
I haven't watched it since the first episode. I got to get caught.
Unless I like misinterpreted a scene wrong. At the end of Ghost 1, who was Method Man's brother?
Redman.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case in season 2. I think they switched actors.
I gotta see.
Like we wouldn't fucking notice that that's not Redman.
He was in the first episode
of season 2.
Yeah, but I didn't. It looked just like I assumed it was him. So
maybe
I
maybe I misinterpreted the scene. Maybe he was talking to somebody else.
Yeah,
because I
gotta look at it again.
Yeah, now I gotta look at it because I was like, wait a minute.
Gotta get caught up.
Did y'all just try to switch actors? Like we wouldn't notice that's not Redman anymore?
Gotta get caught up.
I will go on record. I don't watch Power, but I try to get into it. I'm gonna go.
What?
I don't watch Power. I love BMF.
BMF is
fun. How you love BMF, but you won't watch
based
Power?
on a true story. Like Power just seems like
Power. I mean, Power has gotten
got
very
a little
soap opera after probably season 4 of the original Power. Then it was just kind of like
I respect what 50 doing.
It
man.
was
He's
fire. The first 3 seasons of the first
I
Power
couldn't
was
get
fire.
into it for
now,
some reason.
Raising Kanan.
That
would be your joint.
That's the
Raising
one.
Kanan
And I didn't
is the
get
truth.
past the first season. I got to go back, but I did like Raising Kanan.
Yeah, Raising Kanan is the one.
So this brings up another question about hip hop. Who's the best hip hop actor or actress?
Well, first, before we answer that, that's a good question. But let's just talk about the amount of rappers turned actors. Like there are so many. What is the transition to? I mean, I get you're a performer, you're an artist, you can dive into that, but it's a lot to go from rapping to acting, I feel like, and be good at it consistently.
Right.
And there are so many. I was just looking at a list, like there's so many, rappers turn actors. And go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
But I was just gonna say, like, from the time when Ice-T, then LL, then Pac, when there was few and far between, then all of a sudden it just seemed like, I would say like mid to late 90s, all these rappers, Method Man, Snoop, started acting. And a lot of it,
BMF.
yeah, a lot of it was, I love Snoop and BMF. As a pastor, it's hilarious. But a lot of it,
cut this check straight down the middle.
It felt like a lot of their entry into acting was kind of on some like, just because they're rappers. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Fredro Starr and
Sunset Park.
And then was he on Brandy?
He was another one too. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like you just do it for the sake of the fact that they're a rapper, but then you find out a lot of these people are just talented as a whole. That's always been a cool sort of connection.
Well, I mean, what would you guys say? Well, man, these guys are artists, right?
Well, since you shit all over it, I think Mos Def is really funny.
I think he's hilarious.
Was really good he was in Brown Sugar.
And he what was the other joint?
He was
it the Italian Job?
Yeah, heist movie, right?
Yeah, I think it was the Italian Job.
No, Mos Def is really good.
He's in a lot of
He was good in Brown Sugar too.
Do y'all know his acting debut was in the short-lived Cosby series when he was like the Cosby
the Cosby Mysteries.
Mos Def was Dante Smith was in. This was before he was ever a rapper. He was a co-star on this Cosby show, and he has a cameo in a lesser-known Michael Jackson video, Ghosts. He's in this video.
I knew that. I knew Ghost, the long version of Ghost. Yeah.
And
that video's dope.
Yeah, it is. My kids love it, and I always found it interesting. Like Mos Def was an actor, like legitimately on a sitcom with Cosby before he was ever a rapper.
That's crazy.
I think he's a talented.
Absolutely.
I think he's a talented actor.
Absolutely, 100%.
I would never shit on his movies.
Look, I told you where it came from. The movie isn't bad, but I'm frustrated that it is exactly the same. I wanted more. I wanted different. I thought it was gonna be different. It was just Love and Basketball. They switched out the basketball for a microphone.
I give you that.
I
mean, it's
worked
kind
up
of lazy,
about it.
but
I wanted more.
I think it's still decent, though. I feel you.
It's a decent
I
one.
think you're out of pocket.
If it comes on, I'll watch it. I mean, I love Sanaa Lathan. I love my girl Nicole Ari Parker. I love her.
Yeah.
I got love for Tay Diggs.
I don't know who the best. I mean, like LL really ventured out. Cube really ventured out. Like they stopped. Like Ice-T, and like Ice-T's basically been playing one character for 20 years. And I mean, he's been doing it great, obviously, because he's been doing it 20 years.
Right.
But Cube with the Disney movies and all of that stuff. I mean, you know what I mean? Like the are we there yet? He kind of switched it up a little bit. Though I feel like the character on it's not Cube. Like the character on Are We There Yet? 21 Jump Street in Ride Along. It's all the same.
It's all the
It's
same.
the
dude.
same guy.
It's the same angry old.
Yeah,
black man.
yeah.
You know,
For real.
maybe I'm biased here, and you could say he's just playing a souped up version of himself. I thought Cameron did really good in Paid in Full. I enjoyed.
Yeah, but that's all he
Cameron in
did.
Paid in
Yeah, he just played
That's
he
all he
played
did,
the
though.
person he wants to be in real life and Paid in Full.
Right.
He wanted
did
to
a good
be-
job of that though.
He did.
Eminem played
He
himself.
wanted to be
and
Rico.
did
I mean,
did a
the
really good
best,
job.
like, I think
Go ahead.
I'm leaning towards L.
The best hip hop, the best rapper turned actor is Tupac Shakur.
Yeah, I mean, Bishop.
Well, has Pac ever done a
Well,
bad movie?
I don't remember his performance.
Well, yeah, like gang related. I don't think like
really
It wasn't a
remember,
great movie, but he did a good
but,
job. In
I
all
mean,
of those.
He was
his
really good. I
like
mean,
Poetic
Juice is-
Justice is phenomenal. Like his
Absolutely.
performance in Poetic
I
Justice.
think Juice is his best.
I mean,
I think Bishop is. I mean, he
Bishop is the
killed
most
Bishop.
iconic, but he showed the most range
Mhm.
in Poetic Justice.
I can't remember where
I could give it that.
I can't remember where I heard this line. I don't know if it came from this show or if I heard like maybe someone said, you know, one of Pac's biggest problems was after Juice dropped, people started treating him like
Like he was
Bishop.
Bishop.
I can't remember where I heard that
You
line
heard it. You
from.
probably heard it in multiple
Hey
places.
man, he
'cause
was
I've
good
heard
as.
it in multiple
I'm
places.
Yeah.
forgetting he was great as Lucky. And I mean, not Lucky, but Birdie.
Birdie,
He
yeah.
was above the rim.
Well, Birdie's what got him hanging around them,
Haitian Jack.
Yeah.
Because he said he was trying to emulate Haitian
Yeah.
Jack in that movie.
and
And a part of it was him trying to like live that out in real life too.
Yeah.
So that was but has he ever had a bad performance in a movie?
no, I don't think so.
No.
But I like, for me, like you say Juice, I say Poetic Justice because it's different.
Yeah.
Like Poetic Justice is just like
He had
like Poetic Justice to me shows he's a leading man. Like he could be, you know, Pac could have been Cube. Like if Pac lived, Pac could have done "Are We There Yet" and Ride Along, and I think he'd have more range than Ice Cube does. Like he
100%.
could have been that.
Yeah,
he could have done that.
Absolutely.
well, okay.
And the wild thing is,
Wait a
if
minute.
Cube had died, Cube would be Pac.
Wait a minute. I can't believe that I'm the one bringing this up.
What?
The answer is Will Smith.
Oh man,
Damn.
that's a great
I
point.
can't believe
We're
I'm
a
the
bunch
one
of jackasses. Yeah,
The
it
answer
is
is Will Smith.
emphatically Will Smith.
And see, okay,
It is emphatically Will
It's
Smith.
100% true, but it just goes to show how much more of a movie star we
Yeah.
consider Will Smith,
Right. No, you're
and
right.
not as much a rapper.
And Will
which-
Smith never did a hip hop movie.
never.
He did a hip hop TV show,
Mhm.
right?
No.
No.
Fresh Prince ain't a hip hop TV show.
I mean,
It's just a TV show featuring a rapper.
I think they drew you in with a lot of
Has
hip hop.
anybody ever rapped on an episode of Fresh Prince?
Well, the intro.
Fresh Prince did. Like,
yeah,
Will
at the
did.
beginning.
Like,
I'm talking about in an episode.
like his, but hip hop just isn't rapping. It's dancing. It's the way you dress. It's the Jordans.
I
It's the
thought it was.
sneakers.
I thought it was completely
100%.
based on to drawing you in was the fact that, and this is blurred lines, but this hip hop kid comes into Beverly Hills.
But he's not a hip hop kid in
Beverly
the story.
Bel Air.
He's just an inner city kid.
That's
from
true.
Philly.
That's true. That's
He ain't
true.
even a rap. If he was a rapper, I'd
That's
say it
true.
would be a hip hop show.
Yeah.
But he had no aspiration. He
That's
wanted
a
to
good
be
point.
he wanted to be a comedian and a basketball player.
That's a good
He didn't
point.
want. It was no signs of rap in the actual show.
Can we shout out Bel Air that just wrapped up season 2?
Man, I
And-
gotta watch season 2. I haven't seen it
Yeah, I
yet.
haven't
And-
seen season 2.
And I'll tell you something.
I love
like,
season 1.
I got something for you to watch.
shout out to
okay.
our girl Coco Jones.
I picked up on it.
Yeah, I like
She'll be in
Coco.
Sacramento in August.
Mhm.
Hopefully with D-Lo and KC.
Absolutely.
I picked up on something about halfway through. Like he was wearing the guy who plays the Will Smith character. He was wearing something. I was like, yo, that is bad. I have got to find that. And I start searching. I find it, and I start researching the company. I was like, oh, okay. Couldn't get it. It was sold out. I was like, that's dope. And then I started noticing something, and every episode, I start Googling stuff. Every single episode of that show, he's wearing a black designer.
That's what's up.
Every single episode, he's got a different black
That's
designer
dope.
on.
That's
From
what's up.
Billionaires Boys Club to I think it's called Pada, to all like every episode. You'll see it now when you watch.
Yeah.
Every episode, he's got a different black
That's what's
designer
up.
on.
That's what's up.
Oh, Pata. I like Pata. P-A-T-T-A.
Yeah.
I like them. They're out of Amsterdam. They
Mhm.
did a Jordan collab a couple years back with the Sevens. They're dope.
Yeah, they've got some. Yeah,
I
they-
love the
they-
style of Bel Air, and I didn't have
Yeah,
high expectations for that. I
Mhm.
thought that was gonna be just failure, but they really impressed me with that. I got to check out season 2.
I love how they switched the Jazz character up. Like I love the Jazz character.
I do
on
too.
it.
He's cool.
Yeah.
Like he's yeah.
And then the
I
Jazz
like
Hillary story is completely different. Like they did a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe next time, one of these times, hip hop.
I don't think we
shows.
solved anything.
No,
I don't think we.
Well, we figured out that what was.
So Will Smith is the okay. Let's try this one more time. Who's the best rapper actor not named Will Smith?
Pac.
Is it Pac?
It's Pac. It's
real quick.
Pac.
I don't want to get into a large discussion, but does DMX get any love there?
DMX gets
I
love.
thought he did pretty good.
He falls into the same category. He just
Playing himself.
So you know who else we didn't mention?
I'm sorry,
you know
just
who
real
else?
quick.
Wait, no.
Belly.
What about it?
What is it?
Oh no,
That's
not a hip hop movie.
Not a hip hop movie.
Nah.
I think it's a
We
hip-hop
accomplished fucking nothing on this episode.
I think it's a hip hop movie.
We got nowhere.
It's a street movie. It's a paid in full to me. It's paid in full on steroids to me.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Ain't no rapper
but I
in it.
think of that as a hip hop. But I understand.
We think of it because the two biggest rappers at the height of their career were in that shit, but it's not really a hip hop
If we
movie.
stopped recording this podcast before our live radio show, this episode might be 4 hours.
For real.
Because we have gotten nowhere.
We need to do these.
Nipsey Hussle's in the movie
man.
too. Y'all checked out. He's in one of them.
Wait, you know what we didn't bring
Nipsey
up?
Hussle in the movie. I remember seeing him before I really even knew who Nip was. I was like, oh, that's that.
Yeah, when
that
he's
rapper.
in jail, right?
And
Well, no, he was like a bad husband, bad boyfriend, and then he gets paralyzed, and the girl takes care of him, and he like
I
really.
never heard of this shit.
It's a series of movies or a
okay.
series of stories in a movie,
and
and he was in it.
we talked about this on one episode for short, maybe two, and I know it's talked about now. I know there's a Snoop video out there. The greatest role Nipsey Hussle ever had was the one he turned down.
Yeah.
They said, I'm not going to play
wanna be
Snoop on
typecast.
straight out of like I don't want y'all to think I'm Snoop.
Right.
Who didn't we bring up before we
There's
go?
two things we didn't bring up in this show. CB4.
Oh, that's a great movie.
How the hell did we not talk about
That's a
CB4?
phenomenal movie. That is a hip hop
That's
movie. They
absolutely
did a great
hip-hop
job.
movie.
Yeah.
Even though it's parodying hip hop a
Right.
little bit, but it's still a hip hop movie. 150.
I feel like there's
It's
a
got
lot of I feel like
truths.
there's a lot of movies that parody hip hop that we could probably.
That's the only movie Eazy-E has ever been in.
Huh.
They speak a lot of truths in that movie.
That movie is a brilliant movie.
What was the other
Brilliant
one?
Take.
You said there were two things.
There was there's an actor or actress who we didn't mention.
Queen
Latifah.
Yeah, Queen.
Oh, we mentioned Queen.
Did
Yeah,
we?
we brought up
Queen
Queen
won
Latifah
a-
earlier.
She won
Yeah.
a Academy Award.
Yeah, she won an Oscar.
Oscar.
Will
Yeah.
she won an Oscar before Will.
Yeah.
So is she the best?
I
No.
mean, she might be the. I mean, she had a
Willis.
TV show. Will had one too, but I mean, she had a TV show. Set It Off. I mean, you want to talk about range?
Yeah, no,
Queen
she's got
Latifah.
range for sure.
Yeah.
But who had like 11 straight $100 million movies?
Right. And Will's range is off the charts. He played Ali, you know.
Will
compete with that.
starred in a movie with a dog.
No, with
Like
no
his
people,
only co-star was a dog,
and no
Will-
other people in it,
and
Will-
still made that scene
Yeah.
hurt like hell.
Yeah.
And
Like
Will at like 35 was a middle-aged black man in San Francisco.
yeah, for real,
right,
for real, Played
right.
it convincingly.
Will it's funny how often actors get nominated when they play someone real. Like Will won the Oscar for playing a real person. He's been nominated, I think, almost every time he's played someone's life on screen, like Pursuit of Happiness, Ali,
Emancipation.
Emancipation, King Richard. Well, I don't think he was nominated for Emancipation, was he? I don't know if he
No,
can be.
I didn't mean Emancipation.
I don't know if he can be,
I meant-
but
I meant King Richard.
might be frowned upon.
Right.
But actually, that would be the next Oscar cycle,
yeah,
right?
it would
Yeah,
be. It
the
would
one
be.
coming up.
Yeah. Okay, we've got to go. Sorry, we got nothing done today. We'll try this again at another. We didn't even define what a hip hop movie was.
Favorites, real quick. Favorites.
House Party.
Juice. And
Juice.
House Party. I mean, I love
House Party
too.
hands down for
But
me.
Juice, if we said that's a
House Party 3, baby.
If we say Juice is a hip hop movie, that's my favorite hip hop.
Hey, you know
No,
what?
I think Juice is.
You know what? House Party 3. Left Eye's verse at the end of that song.
I love TLC.
Do you remember that
I
verse?
love me chilly.
Left Eye's verse.
You'd have to drop a line for me to remember.
I can't right now. I can't.
Well, wasn't that
Because if
good?
my hat is to the back and you're probably crooked, her flow is so crazy in that shit. Yeah. We'll come back to this one. We'll come back to this.
I know I ain't
coming
forgot.
soon.
Bust it. It's my party and I'll rhyme if I want to. Be careful and don't you step to the front too. Subscribe, download.
You just got played out.
Subscribe, download, do all of that great stuff. We appreciate you so much for being with us here on Corners of the Culture.
Holla.